all and welcome to a different video today. So usually when I set out a video, what I do is I examine the theory of a topic or a concept, and then I take you through that journey, and then I will stick one or two examples at the end to bring it all together, put it into practice. This is not that video. So I've done this already for journals and journal corrections. So I already have 2 videos out on this topic. So I would recommend, if you are not familiar with the process and of how I recommend you approach journal questions, I would watch those 2 first. So I'm going to take you through 8 different examples that you could get in an exam and show you how I would approach each of them. Right, let's get into these examples and make a start. So the first of our errors is an error of original entry, and this would happen when the original amounts that were entered into the system were incorrect. So here we've got an example where it states rent paid of $3,750 has been entered as $3,250. So the way that we will approach each of these is very similar. I'll show what should have happened, what has happened, and then the journal correction to take us from what has happened to what should have happened. Okay, so having a look at this first example then, rent should have gone in as $3,750. We know that rent is an expense, so we should have debited our rent account and we should have credited our bank account. Now in terms of what has happened, the entries in terms of the debits and credits were correct, so the rent has been debited and the bank has been credited, but for the incorrect amounts. Now the best way of dealing with this would be to remove the transaction entirely, so the original transaction, and then enter it in as it should have been in the first place, rather than just doing the difference. Just because it's more clear if someone else were to look at the system. So what we need to do is first reverse that incorrect entry. So that would be the 3,250. So what we would want to do is credit our rent account to remove it. So credit our rent for 3,250 and debit our bank account again for 3,250. And by doing this, we have reversed that original entry. We then want to enter it in as it should have been in the first place. So that would be to debit the rental account for 3,750 and credit the bank for 3,750. By doing that, we've removed the incorrect entry and we've entered it in as it should have been in the first place. So we can see that the journal entry now matches up with what should have happened. Okay, moving down to our next one, which is an error of principle. Now the error of principle would occur when the entry has been put into the wrong type of account. So for example, that could be an income account going to a liability account. Now in this example, it states the purchase of a motor vehicle for $26,500 has been entered in the motor vehicle expenses account. Now the motor vehicle account would be an asset account, and the motor vehicle expense account, fairly obviously, would be an expenses account. Relatively straightforward to correct here. There is nothing wrong with the bank entry. So if we look at what should have happened, it should have gone to motor vehicles. We know that assets increase with a debit, so it should have gone on the debit side. And it has correctly been inputted into our bank. So all we need to do here is move the transaction from our motor vehicle expenses account into our motor vehicles account. So it would just involve those 2 accounts because our bank account is correct. So all we would need to do is credit our motor vehicle expenses account, which would remove the incorrect entry, and we would debit the motor vehicles account as it should have been in the first place. By doing that, we have successfully removed the incorrect entry from the expenses account and moved it into the asset account. Now our next error is an error of commission. Now this works in a very similar way to the error of principle. The 2 errors themselves are very similar. So the error of commission would occur when it's gone to the same type of account but the wrong account. So we can see here that sales revenue of $37,500 has gone to the rental income account. Both of these accounts are income accounts, but obviously we've selected, or they have selected the wrong account name. So to correct this, it's going to be a very similar process as with the error of principle. We need to remove the entry out of rental income and move it into sales revenue as it should have been in the first place. The bank entries are correct. So all we need to do is debit our rental income, and that would remove the entry from rental income. So we would enter in 37,500 on the debit side, and then for sales revenue, we would enter in a credit entry of 37,500 as it should have been in the first place. So by doing this, you've successfully removed the amount from rental income and entered it into sales revenue. Moving down to our next error, which is the reversal error. So one that people do get a little bit confused on because the entries do look a bit odd, but I'll explain that as we go through. So the reversal error happens where we've put in the debits and credits into the accounts the wrong way round. So we've effectively flipped them. Okay, so our example here is insurance paid of £1,200 has been reversed in the accounts. So we know that insurance is an expense and is paid out of the bank account. So we should have debited the insurance account and credited the bank. What we're saying is the errors have been reversed. So instead we have credited the insurance account and we have debited the bank account. The way to approach this one is one where we need to remove the entire transaction. It is wrong in both accounts, and then enter it in as it should have been. To do that, all we need to do is debit our insurance of $1,200 and credit our bank for $1,200. Now, by doing this, what you've done is you've reversed the original incorrect entry. So it has brought both of the account balances, so the insurance and the bank, back down to 0. Now the next entry is to put the transaction in as it should have been, which would be to debit the insurance account and credit the bank. Now the reason people second guess themselves or doubt themselves on this question is because the entries are the same, which is correct, because what you're doing is removing the incorrect entry, which was reversed, bringing the account back to 0, and then entering it in as it should have been. Now, due to the nature of a reversal being on the opposite sides to what they should have been, it will always be the case where you're entering in the same transaction twice. So if you get this within an exam, don't doubt yourself, it is the same transaction twice. Moving down to our next error then, which is an error of omission. Now, an error of omission occurs when simply the transaction has not been entered into the accounts. So here we've got an example of a loan repayment of £500, which has been omitted from the accounts. Now, to record a loan repayment, it is a reduction to a liability. So a liability, such as a loan, would have a credit balance. A loan repayment would reduce that liability because we're paying back the amount that is owed. So in this example, that is £500. In terms of what has happened, obviously these accounts are blank because it's never been entered. So the journal correction here is to simply enter it into the accounts as you should have done in the first place. So that would be to debit the loan for £500 and credit the bank for £500. So nice and straightforward, that one. Let's move down to our next one, which is the duplication error. Now, a duplication error occurs when we've entered in the same transaction twice accidentally. So here we've got a purchase return of £4,100 has been duplicated in the accounts. Now, a purchase return, in theory, there are two possible outcomes here. If it is a refund, then it would go to the bank. However, by default, we assume that this is a credit note rather than a refund, in which case the opposing entry would be to reduce our payables ledger control account balance, i.e. reducing a liability, because the PLCA is a liability. It's amounts that we owe to our credit suppliers. Now, in terms of this being duplicated, all we're saying is that that transaction has accidentally been entered in twice. So to correct that, all we need to do is reverse one of those entries. Realistically, it's the second entry. So to do that, all we need to do is debit our purchase returns, which would remove that incorrect transaction, that second incorrect transaction, and we would credit the payables ledger control account, again, removing that second entry. So by doing that, we are left with simply the first entry, which was fine. There's no issues with that. Like I said, it's just the fact that it's been entered in twice. Now moving on to our next error, which is the single entry transaction. Now a single entry transaction occurs when only one half of the double entry has been entered into the account. So for example, that could be that only the debit entry has been entered or only the credit entry has been entered. Now in this example, distribution costs of £800 have been entered into the bank account, but no other entries have been made. Now this should have been entered in as a debit to distribution because it's an expense and a credit to the bank account. But what we're saying is only the bank entry has been made. Now what the system would have done therefore is open up a suspense account to ensure that the accounts balance off. So to correct this, all we need to do is reduce the suspense account back down to nil and enter in the distribution as it should have been in the first place. So in order to do that, debit distribution, which was what should have happened in the first place, and credit the suspense account, which would reduce the balance to nil. So remember, whenever you are correcting a single entry transaction, it will involve the suspense account. Now, moving on to our final error, which is the double debit or credit error. So this would occur when you've entered in the transaction on the same side. So you've debited both halves of the transaction or you've credited both halves of the transaction. So in this example, it states that a sole trader has introduced a further £5,000 into the business, but this has been entered as a credit in both the capital account and the bank. Now we know that the transaction or the double entry to record the introduction of more capital is to debit the bank and to credit the capital account. What we're saying is both of these have gone in on the credit side. Now what this would have done is this would have opened up a suspense account because again, a double entry wouldn't match up. So it would have opened up a suspense for £10,000 because what we've done is we've credited our accounts for a total of 10,000 made up of the two £5,000 transactions, but there has been no debit entry. So to balance off the accounts, it would have debited the suspense for 10,000. Now there are two approaches to this and it will depend on the number of boxes given. Now the capital account entry is correct. So if we want to here, and it is the approach I'll be taking, you can just amend for the difference. However, the other option would be to remove the entire transaction and enter it in as it should have been. Both are fine. It would be clearer to see on system because you can see that the suspense account is involved. So it's obvious that there has been an error and therefore quite easy to track. Now, in terms of how we would amend this, we need to obviously reduce that suspense account balance to nil, and we need to correct the amount in the bank account because we've got so far a credit in the bank of 5,000 when that should be a debit of 5,000. So what we need to do is we need to debit our bank account for 10,000. That would in effect reverse the 5,000 credit and enter it in as £5,000 on the debit side as it should have been in the first place. Then in the suspense account, we want to credit the balance for 10,000, which would reduce it down to nil. So again, similar to a single entry transaction, where you have a double debit or double credit error, it's going to create a suspense account, and that will always therefore be involved in the correction of the error. So that wraps up this video on the 8 examples for journals and specifically correcting journals. Hope you found it useful, and remember, if you have, to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more accounting videos. Thanks again for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.